Hi, I'm Greg Haddad with the law firm of Bailey Glasser, and welcome to my home. We're going to be doing a little cooking today and sharing how cooking and the law, while those two things seem to be completely inconsistent with each other, actually have some unique similarities in the processing and how we go about building a recipe and building a case. And what I'm going to be making for you today is lamb meatballs. We call them kidney. Hopefully you'll learn a little bit something about cooking and my culture, and you'll learn a little bit of something about how I approach the practice of law in dealing with my clients. We start off with the stuffing. And what we have here is about a half a pound of lamb. Now, some people don't like lamb, so you can use beef, you can use a mixture of lamb and beef, it doesn't matter. It's all good, and it's all gonna be good. We also have pine nuts, pretty active ingredient. We mix the pine nuts, gotta add a little bit of salt, always some pepper, and a little bit, I use allspice. Some people might not like the taste of allspice, so you can use cinnamon, paprika. It's all gonna be up to you and what your individual tastes are. So what we gotta do is, just like a lawsuit, just like representing a client, you gotta get your hands dirty. So we gotta get in there and we gotta mix this up, and no better way to mix it up and get involved is to get in there with your hands and make sure that the pine nuts and the salt and the pepper are well mixed. And then we're gonna hit this and brown it on top of the stovetop. One thing binds us all. It's family and it's food. For me, one of the biggest things in my life was my family, and we cook as a family. So this was a shared experience. And that's kind of how you deal with, in a sense, clients. You want to basically bring them into your family. And family, historically, have been the nuclear family. And it involved your mom, your dad, brothers and sisters, and your grandparents. Now family has a lot different connotation. Family is now involving all those support systems that you rely upon. And if you're a lawyer, like I am, and you do your job, like I hope I do, when I get up in the morning and I put my feet on the floor, the first thing I'm thinking about is, what am I gonna do to help that person that's come to me in a time of trouble? Now, let's talk about the mixing of the actual patties themselves. Again, you gotta get your hands dirty, you gotta roll up your sleeves, and you gotta get to work, just like I do every day when I go to the office. So we have our lamb, we have wheat, onions. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna pour some of our wheat in. We're gonna dump our onions in. And of course, never forget salt, never forget pepper. In my family, it was always the kids that had to get their hands dirty and dig in and mix everything together, but that's how you learn. Is you roll up your sleeves, you get your hands dirty, and you get the job done. And this is gonna form the basis of our patties. When I meet with a client, one thing I think about is, what is their experience? Their experiences are going to be consistent with the experiences of the people on the jury. And one of the ways that I understand where they came from and how they got there is find out about themselves. Really get into their background, because once you get into their background, it opens up a complete new world for you and really focuses you on, how am I going to have a jury of 6 completely disinterested people connect with my client? And people hear about injuries all the time, and people hear about lawsuits all the time. So what's going to connect them? And it's those little experiences that you can make that jury go from one that is sympathetic, which is, I feel sorry for that guy because of his injuries, or that gal, to one that is empathetic. And that's where you're really going to get the best result. When you get a jury to understand what you're going through, based upon the fact that you've got some common experiences and backgrounds, you've gone a long way in helping your client achieve the best result you can. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make just a small ball, maybe about 1 inch. We'll patty that out. The beauty of it is, and you'll see, it doesn't have to be perfect. And one's the top, and one is the base of your ball. Then you're just gonna get a little bit of the meat, the stuffing, You're gonna get that right there in the center. Then you take the top it, and now it's a matter of just getting it and pinching it. And what you want to do is you want to make what's going to look like a small football. And there you have it. That'll go from here to the stovetop, where we'll cook that and brown it really nicely and get a nice brown char on the outside. This is what they look like. They're absolutely gorgeous. They're absolutely delicious. You know, I leave these on the countertop and my girls will walk by and pick them up. I put a little bit of Greek yogurt on them, serve them with a side of rice, a vegetable. That's your complete meal. You've only messed up a couple of pans. Doesn't create a lot of mess in the kitchen. I hope you enjoy this recipe. I really do. It's part of memories that I have. I know each of you have your own experiences that may surround family or food, and this is what makes us human. And we just need to connect with that human element when we're representing our client in front of a jury of 6 strangers who are trying to do the right thing.